Welcome back to the channel, coin enthusiasts. Today we are taking a closer look at 4 Washington quarters that could be hiding in your collection, or even your pocket change. The 1983, P1984D, 1985P and 1986P quarters, while they were minted in the millions, not all of them are common rare mint errors. Double dies and high grade, uncirculated examples can sell for serious money. In this video I will break down the history, key details and collector values of these quarters and show you just how much they can be worth today. Let's get started. First up, let's begin with the obverse design. The 1983P quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This design was originally created by sculptor John Flanagan in 1932 to honor Washington's 200th birthday. On the 1983 issue, Washington is shown facing left with the motto Liberty above his head and "In God we trust" to the left. The date 1983 appears below the bust, and the mint mark P for the Philadelphia Mint is placed just beside it. The reverse design is equally iconic. It features a bold heraldic eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows, with 2 olive branches below, symbolizing peace. Across the top rim is the national motto, United States of America, followed by the phrase, E pluribus unum, which means out of many one. At the bottom is the denomination, $quarter. This powerful design was used from 1932 until the state quarters program began in 1999, making the 1983 quarter part of that long-running and beloved series. Now let's talk about specifications. The 1983P quarter is made of a copper, nickel-clad composition with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Unlike silver quarters from before 1965, this coin has no precious metal content, so its value is not tied to bullion, but to its rarity, condition and collector demanding. Here where things get especially interesting: the mintage. In 1983, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 673 million quarters, which sounds like a huge number, but hear the catch. The US Mint did not issue official mint sets in 1982 or 1983. That means most 1983 quarters entered circulation immediately, with almost no high-quality uncirculated examples preserved for collectors. As a result, finding a well-struck pristine 1983P quarter today is surprisingly difficult, and that scarcity drives up collector value in mint state grades. Let's now examine the grading scale from 1 to. In the lowest grades, like good to fine, a 1983 P quarter is worth only 25 cents to 50 cents, essentially face value. In very fine to extremely fine, the value rises slightly to 50 cents to $1.50. Once you get into about uncirculated, the coin may fetch $2 to $5. In mint state grades, values increase to $8 to $25. At the higher levels, the coin can be worth $50 to $150. Finally, in the very top grades of and above, certified examples can command $500 to over $1,000, making this one of the most valuable modern quarters in high condition. Errors and varieties add even more interest to the 1983P quarter. Collectors should look for double die obverse, double die reverse, off-center strikes clipped, planches and broad strikes. One of the most famous is the 1983P quarter double die reverse, where the lettering on A pluribus unum shows doubling. Examples of this error in mint state can bring $100 to $300 or more, depending on grade, with errors, rarity and eye appeal are the key drivers of value. From a historical perspective, the 1983 P quarter represents the challenges of the US Mint in the early 1980s due to budget cuts and production demands. The Mint stopped issuing uncirculated sets in 1982 and 1983. forcing collectors to pull coins directly from circulation. This has made these years unique and more challenging for numismatists. While billions of quarters were made, the lack of preserved, high-quality pieces has transformed the 1983p into a modern condition rarity that continues to gain attention today. For collectors, the 1983p quarter offers both opportunities and challenges. Beginners can easily obtain circulated examples, but advanced collectors often compete fiercely for the highest grade certified coins. The best approach is to search rolls, coin jars, or even pocket change for sharp strikes with minimal wear, especially coins that might qualify for or higher, submitting such coins to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can unlock their full market value. In conclusion, the 1983p Washington quarter may look ordinary, but it is anything but common in high grade. On the mint grading scale, it ranges from face value in worn condition to thousands of dollars in top mint state. Add in era coins like the famous double die reverse, and suddenly this modern coin becomes a collector prize. If you happen to find a bright, sharply struck 1983p quarter, do not overlook it. You could be holding a key modern rarity. And as always, if you enjoyed this breakdown, please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share it with fellow collectors. Next up, let's start with the obverse design. As with other Washington quarters of the era, the obverse features the portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. Washington is shown facing left with the word Liberty above his head and the motto "I and God we trust." To his left below the bust is the year 1984, and just beside it is the mint mark D to signify that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The design is simple yet powerful, honoring the father of the nation. The reverse side of the 1984 D quarter continues the traditional design used since 1932. It features a heraldic eagle with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows with two olive branches beneath. The inscriptions include United States of America across the top, E pluribus unum beneath the eagle, and the denomination quarter dollar at the bottom. This bold design remained in circulation until the launch of the state quarters program in 1999, making the 1984 D a member of the long-running Washington quarter series. In terms of specifications, the 1984 D quarter is a clad coin composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. Unlike silver quarters made before 1965, this coin contains no precious metals, so its value comes entirely from collector demand, condition, and any special eras or varieties it may carry. Now let's talk about mintage. In 1984, the Denver Mint struck over 546 million quarters, which on the surface makes it a very common coin. However, what truly matters to collectors is not just how many were made, but how many have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Millions went straight into circulation, where they quickly accumulated wear and tear. High grade examples, particularly those graded mint state or higher, are much harder to find and can be quite valuable. Let's break down the grading scale out of points. In low circulated grades like good through fine, the coin is usually only worth face value 25 cents. In very fine to extremely fine, the value increases slightly, perhaps up to 50 cents to $1 once you reach about uncirculated. A nice example might fetch $1 to $3. In the mint state range, values increase sharply. Coins often sell for $5 to $15. A coin in might bring $30 to $60, while an example can command $100 to $250. Finally, the rarest top-tier coins in or higher can bring $1,000 or more at auction. Eras and varieties also make the 1984 D quarter especially collectible. Some notable ones include off-center strikes clipped planches die cracks, and double die obverse or reverse. Varieties collectors are especially drawn to coins with dramatic mistrikes such as quarters that show part of the design missing due to an off-center strike which can sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on severity always. Check your 1984D quarters carefully. An error coin could be worth far more than a standard example. From a historical perspective, the 1984 D quarter represents an era when the United States Mint was producing coins in huge numbers, yet quality control varied. Many coins from this period exhibit weak strikes or surface marks, making truly gem quality coins difficult to locate. This is one reason why collectors prize certified examples in high mint state grades. The Denver Mint in particular produced more than 500 million quarters that year, but very few survive in the flawless condition that appeals to registry set collectors. For collectors, the 1984 D quarter presents a rewarding challenge. Circulated examples are easy to find, but the real hunt lies in searching through rolls, bags, or unsearched coin collections for those high-grade gems, submitting them to grading services like PCGS or NGC can greatly increase their value if they come back with a grade of or higher. Even better if you happen to discover a rare variety or dramatic mint error. You could be holding a coin worth many times its face value. In conclusion, the 1984 D Washington quarter may appear to be just a common coin from everyday change, but its true worth lies in its condition and possible errors on the point grading scale. Its value ranges from 25 cents in worn condition to potentially thousands of dollars in gem mint state with rare errors. This makes it a fascinating coin for both beginner and advanced collectors alike. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1984 D quarter, be sure to like this video, comment below with your thoughts, subscribe to the channel and share it with fellow collectors who knows you might already have one of these hidden treasures sitting in your coin jar at home. Next up, let's begin with the obverse design. The front of the coin features the familiar bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington birth. Washington faces left with liberty inscribed above "Iron God We Trust" to the left, and the year 1985 below the portrait. The Philadelphia Mint struck these coins without a mint mark, which is typical for coins made in Philly at the time. This detail makes it easily identifiable when compared to quarters from Denver, which feature a D mint mark. Turning to the reverse design, the 1985 P quarter displays the heraldic bald eagle wing spread, proudly clutching a bundle of arrows and standing above two olive branches. This design had been in use for decades and would remain until the state quarters program began in 1999. Around the rim are the inscriptions "United States of America" across the top, "E Pluribus Unum" just above the eagle head, and quarter dollar at the bottom. This timeless and patriotic design is one of the reasons the Washington quarter series is so iconic in American coinage. In terms of physical specifications, the 1985 P quarter is a clad coin made of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a reeded edge. It does not contain silver, unlike quarters minted before 1965, but despite its lack of precious metal, it carries numismatic value when found in top condition or with rare mint errors. Now let's talk about the mintage. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 819 million quarters in 1985. That a huge number, which means that circulated examples are still very common today. However, what makes a coin like this special is not the overall mintage, but the survival of examples in pristine gem quality condition. The vast majority went into circulation and suffered where scratches and handling marks. Only a small fraction survived in near perfect condition, making those top graded coins the true treasures. Next, let's break down the value by grade on the Point-Sheldon scale. In low circulated grades such as good through fine, the coin is only worth its face value 25 cents. In very fine to extremely fine value, might increase slightly to 50 cents or $1 when you reach about. Uncirculated, the coin might sell for $2 to $4 mint state. Coins are where the real value begins. Examples usually range from $5 to $10 at you. Might see values between $40 and $80. In the scarce grade, values often jump into the $200 to $400 range, and coins graded or higher can reach $1,000 or more at auction. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1985 P. Washington quarter is the possibility of error coins. Collectors actively looking for double die, obverse or reverse varieties off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes and die cracks, for example. An off-center strike that leaves part of the design missing can sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on how dramatic it is. Similarly, coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime or nickel blank, are extremely valuable. Always check your 1985 P quarters carefully. You could have an overlooked error coin that turns out to be a hidden treasure. From a historical perspective, the 1985 P quarter reflects an interesting era in U.S. coinage. The 1980s saw enormous production numbers at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, but quality control was not always perfect. Weak strikes and planchet flaws are common in this era, making high-quality, sharply struck coins more desirable. Collectors love the challenge of finding one of these coins in gem mint state, especially certified examples that grade or higher. For collectors, the 1985 P quarter is a fun and affordable coin to start with. Most people can find circulated examples in pocket change or coin rolls, but the real challenge comes in cherry-picking coins that have strong eye appeal, sharp detail, and minimal marks. Submitting coins to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can transform a common coin into one worth many times its face value. A top-graded example could be the highlight of a Washington quarter collection, especially if it has a dramatic mint error. To wrap up, the 1985 P. Washington quarter is a perfect example of how even modern coins can surprise us with hidden value. While most examples are only worth face value, the best preserved and error-struck coins can reach values in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars on the point grading scale. Its value can range from 25 cents in worn condition all the way up to 4 figures for gems or rare error varieties. So next time you go through your spare change or coin rolls, keep an eye out for 1985 quarters. You never know when you might stumble across a hidden treasure. And as always, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this video so more collectors can join in the hunt. Next up, let's start by looking at the design of the obverse or front of the coin. This side features the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. He faces left with the word liberty above his head, the national motto "I and God we trust" to the left, and the date 1986 directly below his chin. Coins struck in Philadelphia during this year do not carry a mint mark, unlike Denver quarters, which feature AD. This small detail is one of the key ways to identify the mint origin of a 1986 quarter. Turning the coin over to the reverse design, we see the long-standing heraldic eagle image that had been a staple on quarters since 1932. The eagle sits proudly with wings outstretched, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath as a symbol of peace and strength. Above the eagle head is E pluribus unum, while the inscriptions United States of America arcs along the top and $quarter curves along the bottom. This patriotic design would continue until the state quarters program began in 1999. In terms of specifications, the 1986 P quarter is a clad coin made with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a reeded edge, unlike pre-1965 quarters that contained 90% silver. This coin has no intrinsic silver value. It's collectible. Worth comes instead from rarity in high grade and special varieties. Now let's talk about mintage. The Philadelphia Mint struck an enormous total of more than 551 million quarters in 1986. This large mintage means that most examples are easy to find in circulation even today. However, the majority of these coins suffered from circulation wear, contact marks, and weak strikes. For collectors who specialize in building high quality sets, the real challenge lies in finding a sharply struck, beautifully preserved coin with no significant flaws. Let's break down the value by grade using the Point Sheldon scale. In circulated grades such as good to fine, the coin is worth only its face value of 25 cents. Even in very fine through extremely fine, it might only sell for 50 cents to $1. Things get more interesting in about uncirculated, where prices can climb to $2 to $5. In the mint state category, values rise sharply. Examples are worth $5 to $10. The value jumps to $40 to $80. A superb gem in can fetch $200 to $400, and extremely rare coins in or higher can bring in $1,000 or more at auction. One of the most exciting parts of coin collecting is searching for errors and varieties. The 1986 P quarter is known for several interesting errors, including off-center strikes, double die obverse and reverses, die cracks, clipped planchets, and broad strikes. Some of these errors, especially dramatic off-center strikes or coins struck on the wrong planchet, can be worth hundreds of dollars or more. Always check your 1986 P quarters carefully under magnification. What looks like a minor minting mistake could end up being a very valuable variety. Historically, the 1980s were a period of massive coin production in the US. The mint was churning out billions of coins each year to keep up with demand. However, with high volume often came inconsistent quality. Coins from this era are notorious for being weakly struck or carrying small defects. This makes truly high-grade examples very rare and desirable, since most coins show at least some imperfections right out of the minting presses. For collectors, the 1986 P Washington quarter is an excellent coin to search for in rolls, bags, or even your own change. While circulated examples are common, the real thrill is in cherry picking a sharp, lustrous, uncirculated coin, sending one off to a grading service like PCGS or NGC can dramatically increase its value if it comes back as a gem mint state coin. And if you happen to discover a rare mint error, you could be holding a coin worth far more than you expected. In conclusion, the 1986 P Washington quarter is a coin that demonstrates how value in modern issues often depends on condition and rarity rather than age or silver content. On the point grading scale, its value can range from 25 cents in heavily circulated condition to $1,000 or more in pristine, or higher. Combine that with dramatic mint errors and you have a coin that collectors will chase, so do not ignore those 1980s quarters in your pocket. Change, they could be hidden treasures. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe, like, and share this video so more collectors can join us on the hunt for rare and valuable coins.